Oh.
Just started recording and just knocked the...
You know Shane Boyd?
Yeah.
So he crashed riding his ramps and stuff out at the track. Have a listen to this for a fucking injury list.
Yeah. When was this?
12 days ago.
Jesus.
Rushed to emergency, life-saving surgery to repair the artery I had ruptured next to my heart. I was internally bleeding to death. I needed 21 bags of blood from the nurse placing an induced coma before another surgery on Saturday to fuse my spine after I fractured my thoracic and dislocated my lumbar spine. Thankfully, both these surgeries were successful. I'm able to walk, talk, and use my arms. Beyond grateful for the ambulance staff and medical staff that saved my life. Also have 17 broken ribs, and you've only got 24, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
And fractured pelvis, as well as collapsed lungs and fractured C4 and C5 vertebrae.
Yuck.
That's fucking scrambled
That's
inside.
insane, yeah. Ugh, gross. See, that's the stuff that...
How's the scars got?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fuck, man.
Because the boys are about to start getting into ride moto, that's the sort of stuff that if I tell the wife about things like that, she's like, I'm not keen, but I'm like, it's a rarity. Think how many people, between me and you, especially you, think how many people you know that do dangerous things on a dirt bike versus the small amount of stories of things like that. Like, you brought that up to me because it's not a very regular occurrence for someone to have that kind of major injury. Like, it's pretty insane how many people do so many insane things without, like, broken arms and broken legs, but major things like that's not very common.
No.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Dude, I'm like, Sherelle and I have been talking about it because we're both getting older now. It's like we've been talking about having kids. And if kid wants to ride and stuff, I'm like, I can ride BMX, but I'm dirt bikes, no way. Like, it's terrifying.
Like, I know I just trail ride and that sort of stuff, but I got hurt way more riding BMX than I ever did riding a moto.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's different for everything. Like,
but I'm the worst, dude. Like, if my niece and nephew are doing anything dangerous, I'm like, fucking be careful.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I'm the same. I'm the same with kids riding BMX. Like, I don't want them. Like, a lot of parents are like, just hit this, jump that, and that sort of stuff. Nah. I want them just to, like, if they're keen, they'll learn more. Like, Max is starting to jump some decent stuff and things like that, and Wes will get there. He's a little bit more hesitant and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, if they want to get better and they keep riding, they will get better just by natural attrition, just by spending more hours on the bike.
It's literally so much.
It's the old 10,000 hour rule. Like, the more time you spend on it, the better it is. Like, I remember when we were riding BMX, Luke Fink, like, he was riding, he'd get up at like 7 or 8 in the morning and he'd go to Camberwell Skate Park and he'd ride until it was night, like 9 o'clock at night, every single day. He rode every single day. He didn't have a job back then. Rode every single day, 7 days a week for like 12, 13 hours a day, riding hard. And that's how he ended up winning the BMX Worlds. Like, it's just what happens. Like, if you spend that much time and you, touch wood, don't have a major injury or something like that, if you've got an ounce of dedication behind you, you're going to get good at it. Simple as that. Like, think about I know how you ride moto. Imagine if you had a private track and didn't have to work and got to ride every single day and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Think of the level that you would have got to because you've just presented with the opportunity. Yeah. I remember hearing an interview. Or read an interview in older...
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, we are recording?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I remember reading an interview in an old ADB magazine with Chad Reed's old man. And Chad Reed, on an 80, was going through 80 litres of premix a day. Like, think how much riding you've got to do. Like, you got 125. Yeah. Think how much on an 80, like,
One a day instead of 15 litres.
Yeah. Like, think how much... riding you've got to do to go through 4 jerry cans of premix in a day on an 80. No wonder he ended up being the best in the world. Like, it's just
all the time, isn't it?
And don't get me wrong, you've still got to have the matching point within the Venn diagram of skill and dedication and probably the right teaching and that sort of stuff and the right opportunities as well. Like, have you read Outliers? I can't remember if you've read...
No, I haven't.
Outliers with Malcolm Gladwell.
Let me be very honest with you, man. Yeah. I don't read books.
Yeah, well, even if you listen to it as an audiobook, it's worth it.
That's what I'd like to do. I think I'd like to do audiobooks.
You should get Outliers as an audiobook. It's really, really good. And, he's talking about in that, like, people talk about people being lucky or people being geniuses or people being talented in sport. And as he said, he goes, most of it revolves around opportunities.
Thanks for pouring me one.
Oh, well, you hadn't wanted one last time. And most of people who are at top levels revolves around opportunity. And some people go, oh yeah, that person's spoiled, they had this, they had that. But they've got to have a lot of talent and a lot of dedication anyway. Yeah. And it's usually the opportunity to nurture that talent there. And that's why I love the idea of, like, if the kids are going to ride moto, like, I don't care if the kids ride moto for a bit of fun and it's only just a bit of fun forever. Or same with BMX, they might ride BMX for a bit of fun forever. Who knows, the kids might end up being one of my boys might end up being really good at soccer or basketball or tennis or who knows what. Or they might not be good at anything, they might be good at their work life or whatever, but as long as they're, like, I like the idea of giving them the opportunity to try things.
Yeah.
Like, I always had opportunities to try stuff growing up, but all I wanted to do was ride moto and ride BMX anyway. But I never really, not that I really wanted it, and it's definitely not something I'd prefer, but I never had the opportunity to play soccer or anything like that. It wasn't something that our family did.
Even though you're Italian.
Yeah, exactly. Really rare. Exactly. But, like, the old man, he rode moto. So we rode moto. We just did it because it was something we could do with him on the weekends. Yeah. And always loved it. But that's why with the kids, I'm like, yeah, if you want to play soccer, you want to do, like, because they do the Ninja Warrior stuff, like, can't at the moment because all the gyms are locked down. And,
that's cool.
Yeah, but stuff like that, I'm like, I like the idea of, as long as it's not like, oh, you want to learn how to snowboard, let's go spend $4,000 on a heap of snowboard stuff and drive 4 hours each way to some garbage snow.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an opportunity that I'd want to really present because it's just not feasible in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, if we lived in New Zealand, if you lived in Queenstown, it's like, all right, yeah, kids, you can snowboard like that. You can do it every day.
Yeah.
I think the difference is being able to do things every day. Like, if I had property and the kids were able to build trails and ride trails every single day, they're going to get good because they're just doing it all the time. As long as they're interested, like, they'll keep doing it.
Having fun, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like if you have kids in the future and you're riding BMX and your kid's riding BMX and you're riding together, it's a fun thing to do with your kids, male or female.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do and it's good for them. It's better than like, here, I'll just put the TV on again for you.
Yeah. But they're going to be so annoyed though.
Mm.
You're like, Dad, let me go. I'm like, no. You just fucking be safe.
Well, that's why.
Just go on the bank, don't do nothing, nothing steep, just chill.
Yeah, well, that's why with the kids, I haven't, they don't know about that moto just yet because with this lockdown, I haven't been able to go anywhere to ride anyway. So it would be a really crappy thing. Hey, look at this exciting new toy that we've got here. Don't touch it. You can't ride it yet because we haven't got room in the backyard for them to ride and that sort of stuff. And
correction, you do have room in the backyard.
We've got neighbours who would complain about it.
Yeah, well, they just need to remember who did the fences.
Yeah, exactly. I should have just left the fences knocked down, so we've got like 3 backyards to ride through. But like, so I think this weekend it should open up and be able to go a bit further and that sort of stuff, and be able to. And then I'll say to the boys, well, I've got a bike here for you, you can ride and that sort of stuff. And I want to make a point of each weekend if they want to ride, which they're going to want to. It's exciting. Like, Max is always at me about a motorbike anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, one weekend go to one mate's house, go ride there, and next weekend go somewhere else, and give them the opportunity to actually do it all the time. It'd be awesome. So, but that's why, like, I'd love to have property. Me and Max always fantasize about it. We'll sit there talking about it. We were watching that Imagination thing, the Tyler Berryman stuff, and Max is like, we should have a property and some bulldozers so we can build tracks and jumps for whatever we want.
Bulldozers are very cheap.
Yeah, I've heard earth moving equipment's really cheap.
Oh yeah, whatever.
But he's like, we should have that, and I'm turning to Haley. I'm like, yeah, we should have a property where we can do this sort of stuff. But like, I was thinking of awesome. Even just having like a big barn and just. Even if you have like a basic mini ramp inside it, or a little grind rail and a couple of quarters and that sort of stuff. Like, even in this garage, like, I've stuffed around in this garage on my BMX with Max, like just doing little bunny hops and goofing around in here. Yeah. And being able to do things every day, you're going to learn so much more. Like, if you're riding moto, if you're able to chuck in like a 15-minute, 20-minute session every single day, you're going to learn a lot more than riding once every couple of weeks for a couple of hours.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think it's good.
It's still repetition and getting comfortable.
Like, that's why I was stoked when I rode my moto for the first time in like a year. And I felt really comfortable straight away. I was expecting, I'm not going to lie, I was expecting to feel like a fish out of water because it had been so long. But it wasn't too bad. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But then I remembered when I was riding like 2 or 3 times a week, you get really used to it, and you just hop on and you just all go. It's not a problem, but yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I'm glad you've kept your 125 of all bikes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't really see myself selling that thing. Well, I would have kept my KX250, but I was blown up, so I was scared of it.
For the few grand you'd get for your 125.
Oh, you know what that was? Remember how I blew it up ages ago and never...
Yeah.
I snapped the end off the spark plug.
Oh, how?
Pin in it. Must have got lean and snapped off.
Oh.
The end of the plug snapped off and went in the motor.
Oh, really? Jesus Christ. Awesome.
Super cool.
Just what you want.
Super cool. Cheers, NGK, you legends.
Yeah. Well, NGK don't normally do that. That's the thing. So, must have been something up. Must have been detonated. Must have been way too lean or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that's what the cause was. So.
Awesome. But yeah, like with your 125, like for the few grand you get for it now, it's only going to go up. It's not like that bike in 5 years' time was the 07. It's not like that in 5 years' time is going to be worth 2 grand. 5 years' time, it'll probably be worth 8.
And that bike, I've got that thing. Have I seen a photo of it?
No.
Dude, I've got that thing dialed. So I just got a raw FMF, same as yours.
Yeah.
But you can't get them here. So I had to get it from
really?
the States. So it took like 8 weeks to get over. It took so long.
Good.
Got a full FMF system on it. I've got tyre pegs on it, ARC lever.
That's cool.
Air forks.
Did you get the ARC levers because when you watched that video of your bike in slow-mo and you saw your levers bouncing up and down, it drove you insane?
No, so I still got that.
I still got that. You got the front brake, got clutch.
Yeah, but the clutch is ARC. And then I've got, what else have I got? 2017 Serif 50 forks and clamps in it.
Yeah, that's good.
So the thing's sick. I got some wheels coming for it as well.
Oh,
so yeah, the thing's like, it's good. Perfect.
It's awesome. And then, like I said, I got my YZ out the other day.
Probably 15 horsepower. That's slow as balls.
Exactly. So gutless. See how 125s, of all the 125s, they're just no poke. Like,
they're the worst,
04 to 07.
Motor.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great. They're Honda motor, but they're so incredible.
Yeah, it'd be reliable, but so is an XR400.
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, that's why I got my YZ out the other day. Like, as you said, your steering feels heavy. It's like, everything's just bound up because it's been sitting around for so long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm just going to gut it and grease everything and lube it and everything will be like new again. Be awesome. I like that bike. It's fun.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Well, again, it's one of those things. So for the $3.80 I'd get if I was to sell it now, I'm like, it's pointless. It's just dumb. I'll just keep it. Like, I like it. Yeah, I said a while ago I was toying with the idea of selling it, but then I wrote it again and I'm like, I'm never selling this. Well, I'll just keep it forever.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah. I had some good food the other day.
What'd you have?
In Croydon, there's a French restaurant called... It's takeaway.
What were you doing in Croydon?
I went and caught up with Zane just as the lockdown...
Was that within your 25-kilometre radius?
It is from work. So, yeah. When I caught up with Zane, I'm going to find the place what it's called because I want to give them a shout out. They were awesome. It's called Mon Poulet. It's classed as a chicken shop in Google searches, but it's actually just a French takeaway restaurant, Mon Poulet in Croydon.
Yeah.
Some of the best food I've ever eaten.
Really?
This roast beef brisket roll. It was like slow cooked beef brisket with this proper beef gravy, like made out of the juices and that sort of stuff, in a roll with like pickled cabbage and that sort of stuff. It was bloody amazing,
dude.
Absolutely amazing. And then
I actually had a brisket yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
brisket's good. Oh, so good. And because I went there with Zane, I caught up with mate Zane the other day because he's in a wheelchair. It's a bit hard for him to get around, especially at the moment with like all the lockdown and everything. Like, what's he going to do? Like, I can't really go anywhere. So I went and caught up with him, and then we jumped in his car and went down and got some food. And he goes, "Oh, what do you want to order?" Because he was just pre-ordering it with the online ordering. And I'm like, "I don't know, order whatever you want." And he just got a heap of different things, so we would just eat bits and pieces of different things.
Yeah.
Another one was like this roll with like baked ham and bechamel sauce with all this other stuff in it. It was so good. It was so French, but so good.
That is very French.
Yeah, it was awesome. So if you're ever in Croydon, go there.
Do they do it without the bun?
Yeah, you can do it with... You can just get heaps of meat. Also, as well as all that, Zane also bought like a 300-gram chunk of just beef brisket as well.
Nice.
So, yeah. I was going to eat that. Like, we got it. And then once we got back in the car and drove off, I'm like, I didn't grab any cutlery. So I'm just like eating meat just with my fingers straight out of the bowl. It was awesome. It was so good.
I've noticed people being like real weird like with that. Like you go to like because we've been riding BMX at Noble Park a lot. So there's like a lot of like kebab shops and supermarket shops.
Yeah.
And they sort of like don't understand when you're like, can I just have a thing of meat? They're like, what do you mean? You don't want to eat like this bread and no.
Just get an HSP, like a whole snack pack.
Nah, because it's got all
chips.
the cream and the chips
like,
and all shit.
yeah.
I don't want that.
I
No.
like
I just
meat.
literally just got the
Meat's
meat.
awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well, just go to that when you ride Noble Park. Just go to that Coles in Noble Park and get like a roast pork.
What, a roast pork?
They sell like roast pork and roast beef in like you buy hot chickens from the supermarket. They sell roast pork and roast beef there.
Do they do beef?
Yeah. Just go there. Yeah, it's really good. Because I used to go to that one on the way home. Oh, that's another thing with the flying. Haven't done any flying.
Oh yeah,
because
you're a fucking
haven't been able to
duck without its wings.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's why I knew that because sometimes I'd go to that Noble Park Coles on the way home and they always had roast pork and roast beef there.
Beautiful. How is that?
Get on it.
Get on it.
I won't do the carnivore thing again. That was fun.
It's good, man.
I did it for like a couple of weeks and I felt better. And also meat. Meat's awesome.
Meat rules.
It's so good.
It's like a waste. Like it's still.
Well, Hayley's a veggie, so I've got to make up for her not eating meat.
Well, that's right. I mean, you get 2-for-1 deal there.
Exactly, yeah. And yeah, I do like meat. Quite. You know what I find is funny? Like you can eat like a huge ribeye steak or something like that, but you don't feel like you want to go to sleep after it. Where sometimes you have like a big bowl of pasta or something like that. You feel like you crash after it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
For real. But yeah, geez, I haven't seen you for so long.
I know it's like I said, it's kind of pathetic. It's been like 3 months, but I don't really have much to talk about.
It's been longer than that. When was the last time we did a podcast? Was it my house? Wasn't it?
That was just before the second lockdown started. Yeah, was it
before lockdown part 2?
Yeah, because you sent me the link saying, "Hey, at 15 minutes, you wished for coronavirus to come back."
You wished for it to come back.
Yeah, well, the traffic was crappy. And I've noticed since this lockdown...
The traffic has improved. Yeah. Oh, the traffic's bad though now.
Yeah, the traffic's got bad again.
Yeah, you know what though? It sort of has been... for riding... Like going to ride park and riding motocross, it's been good just having regional only. Like it's quite a lot quieter.
Yeah.
And skate parks have been quieter.
So it must suck for the businesses. Like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'd be tragic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, geez, I couldn't imagine like how hard it must be if you have a restaurant or something.
Oh, it'd be the worst. It'd suck.
Yeah, and just like what's essential and what's not. It's just like you see shit going on, like that's not essential.
So skate parks been pretty quiet.
Well, they've not been open.
Oh yeah,
so they've been very quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I had to I rode Mount Eliza one time.
Yeah.
During full lockdown, and I had the full fence up and everything, so I had to take my side cutters and cut the fence open and get in there to ride the bowl, sweep all the shit out. But I mean, fuck, man, it's just what do you do?
I don't know.
What do you do, mate?
I don't get involved in politics and stuff. Sometimes people...
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people at work start talking about, this, that, this might be a conspiracy. I'm like, whatever. Like,
but it also definitely is.
Yeah, I look at it and I'm like, what can I do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. As an average person, I have no say.
You're not average.
Oh, below average.
Yeah, don't fucking pat yourself in the back too hard, mate.
Exactly. Yeah, so, I don't know, I'll just take it as it comes.
Did you listen to, speaking of conspiracies, did you listen to the...
Alex Jones?
Yes.
God, he's so good.
I love
Alex Jones so much.
And I listened to his InfoWars the next day. After
really?
it. Yeah. I listened to that.
I haven't listened to InfoWars at all. I just like him.
Man, he makes me so happy, that dude. I just love him.
I love how all his stuff is corroborated. Like, it's all... Like, they go through...
Yeah, he's legit. He ain't fucking around.
Did you listen to the Kanye West episode?
Oh my god, dude. I want to blow my brains out.
You know what? I actually liked it.
Yeah?
He's completely nuts. There's no way he should ever be president.
Oh yeah, no, he's completely
crazy.
nuts.
But some of his ideas about stuff like to do with societies and like...
He's definitely smart.
I listened to stuff and I was like, don't get me wrong, he's bat crap crazy, but some of his ideas are actually really good. I think he's terrible for soundbite snippets. Like if you listen to snippets of stuff, you go, he's just useless. But when you listen to him... Cause you
can see where he's going. Like
you can tell he's been surrounded by yes men his entire life. Like, people have always just enabled him to do stuff. But I was listening to some of his ideas, and I'm like, some of them aren't too bad. So Kanye for president.
Kanye for president.
I think that I don't know anything about politics. I don't profess to know anything about like Trump or Biden or anything like that. I try to actively not engage too much when it comes to either Australian or American politics. I don't really have much.
Yeah.
I have interest in it, but I try to make a point of not getting involved because I don't have the time to invest my brain power into something like that I can't do anything about and it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I do have fun with it though.
But I was going to say, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this American election in the next couple of days. Because they've said, all these analysts have said on different news websites, no matter which way it goes, it looks like there's going to be a civil war in America. And I'm like, oh, that's a big call, but also it's so sketchy over there right now.
The thing is, though, it's sketchy, but I mean, it's not. It's only what you see. You're not going to see positive shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's very biased.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease sort of
thing,
it's
very biased to bad situations and stuff.
Could be interesting.
I got some friends over there, and they're like, it's pretty chill. It's not too crazy. But I mean, obviously, like, places like Portland's a bit weird.
Yeah,
but I've been definitely enjoying the whole thing. I think it's quite funny. I'm a bit of a fan of Donald Trump. I think he's alright. I like that, like, because in the motor industry as well, I do have friends over there, and they're like, since he's got in, it's changed the industry. Like, all my friends are
really,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like a lot of American unemployment before obviously COVID or whatever was at its lowest it's ever been and stuff. Like, he's trying to do the right thing, I think, for people, which is good. And I mean, really, he hasn't been in politics for
He's not a politician.
Well, Joe Biden's been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah, he's not a politician.
Yeah. So he's just a fucking guy. Like, he's not just a guy. He's Donald Trump, but
I don't know.
It's quite entertaining. So I've been enjoying.
It's going to be interesting.
Post
to see
a couple
what
of
happens.
photos. I do like to fucking put a little Donald Trump photo up on my Instagram every now and then. Bit of a photo of him on a tank cruising. Because I do it a bit tongue in cheek as well. I'm a bit like of an antagoniser, so I don't mind like stirring the pot a bit. Like, I'll make a few jokes, upset a few people. Yeah, well,
it's upsetting people is always a good.
Yeah, and I don't like, you don't have social media at all.
Nah.
So like, my thing with social media is I sort of post shit for my circle, like my close friends or whatever,
to entertain your close
friends. And then
friends,
anyone else outside of that is if they get offended, it's fucking on them. I couldn't give a fuck.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I've done a few little jokes about, like, because you know how everyone's in quarantine, they're building bikes and stuff and this, that and the other. I had a fucking good one. Yeah. I did a post of, like, in 2020 everyone's a bike builder, but I know last year you're rolling up to the track like this and it's just a photo of just a stock bike with fucking stick-on numbers. And fucking people got shitty, because everyone's building a fucking two-stroke and everyone's like, fucking Cerakote my whole bike and this, that, and that. It's like, fucking, it's cool, good on you. But I actually got people who got fucking butthurt on that, and I was dying laughing.
That's good. It's good.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't do that. Because that's a fucking funny joke.
There's this whole fad of Cerakoting everything.
Yeah.
Like, Cerakote can be used in certain circumstances, like me and you have spoken about things like that. Like, I think me and you tend to have similar ideas when it comes to, like, making a bike look a bit different. Like, you might get certain things anodized where a lot of people just get it powder coated because it's cheaper and easier and that sort of stuff, but people are just going overboard. Like, you get like Cerakoted rims and things like that. It's like you make the bike look like it looks like either a Chinese mini bike or like a finger bike or something.
The Chinese mini bikes, so they have like all that. Like, it's not the magnesium cut, the cool magnesium cut. It's like that off sort of browny, sort of weird fucking colour, and everything's done in it. It's just like it's just tack.
It's like the Pepsi to Pro Circuit.
Yeah,
it's like Pro Circuit sort of pioneered that burnt magnesium sort of colour.
But they did it like, it was like a deep, like...
Yeah.
Fucking,
I saw...
It's so hard to get that colour, man.
I saw a set of Pro Circuit triple clamps that would actually fit my YZ the other day, because they don't make them anymore, but someone on Vital had a set for sale. I was looking at it, it was going to be like $1,200 delivered here, and I'm like, they're so good. Like, I wouldn't want to put them on a bike. I would actually... You know what I'd like to do? I reckon we need to build... podcast studio properly. You know, I said I got those walls.
Well, I was thinking about doing that in my shed. I could probably like box a bit off. I mean, I only have to keep a couple of bikes in there or whatever.
Well, I've got that those walls here that I covered with carpet a long time ago, but I never actually used them. But I'd like to actually, got a couple of jerseys off you and that sort of stuff. It would be really cool. Like, this isn't a moto podcast, but it kind of is a moto podcast.
I mean, it's just whatever the fuck you're doing,
It's whatever we like podcast.
Yeah.
To be honest, most of the time it's a bloody kid podcast, because all I've been doing is spend time with the kids. That's the only things I've got to talk about. But, like, I'd love to do, like, a wall of trick parts, like, good-looking parts.
Sick,
It'd be so good. And you'd have to have, like, a two-stroke expansion chamber. It's got to be a raw one.
A raw one, for sure.
Yeah. And I've got a few bits and pieces kicking.
Straight up, if you have a nickel-plated exhaust, you can fuck right up.
It's funny because I used to always just get the nickel-plated ones because I ride off-road stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that pipe...
It's so easy to fuck get.
That pipe looked like garbage. And then the other day, I just washed it and I gave it a quick scrub with a scouring pad. I haven't put in much effort, but I'm like, looks good again. It's easy.
Spray like a bit of WD-40 and wipe it and you're good.
It's just... I don't know. I really want to do something about that clutch cover. I don't want an aftermarket clutch cover, but I might strip that back.
Just do it raw, yeah, it looks cool. Mine's because my 125's got a raw, the stock Honda one, it's just raw, like strip back.
That's cool. I think...
it's cool. And I want to get like those fucking Boys in Factory Racing ones,
It's just been overdone. The Boys in Factory Racing ones looked cool in the 90s when it was unique, but it's just been overdone to buggery.
They're literally everywhere, man.
Yeah, exactly. And what I don't like is
and
that
you gotta
massive
have a
lettering.
clutch, and you got to have a clutch company on it.
Yeah.
Like a Hinson one about it. It's cool.
But what I don't like about the boys ones is the massive raised lettering. Like,
it
actually hooks on your boot. It's just, you see some people, they've hooked, gone to hit the brakes and that sort of stuff, and their boot will actually hook on the raised lettering. The raised lettering sticks up about 4 mil. It's like, that's a decent sized step. That sticks out like a bloody stink peg.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Like a foot hook.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, that Yamaha one, if you just big blasted or whatever and just got it back to raw, it looks sick.
I should get
one.
And
it says magnesium on it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I should get... Yeah, because it's actually a magnesium cover, so it's good. I should get one of those little...
And you can still see how much oil you got to put in the fucking thing.
Yeah, it tells you 750...
Well, how much oil was in it 2 years ago.
There's not much oil in now. See, most of the oil's on the ground, because before the last rider went on...
As soon as it runs out of oil, it'll stop leaking. That's pretty cool.
Well, before the last rider went on, I noticed it was weeping out of it because it's just got an O-ring behind the clutch cover.
Yeah.
And I took it off, and there was like an inch section of the O-ring was just missing. So what I did, because it was just the day before I was going to go for a ride and I didn't have a spare gasket, I cut up some YZ125 cylinder head O-rings and just sort of glued them in place in there. And just shoved it on, and it worked fine. But then after that's why that stand's all covered in oil, because it's all gushed out. There's no oil left in it. So,
dry clutch, alright.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet. Did you ever see the photos of Tom Pages's YZ250, like all the clutch
factory one,
the clutch basket and everything?
No.
He drilled the clutch basket, drilled the clutch hub and that sort of stuff.
That's sketchy.
Everything inside, like the little detent arm for on the shift star, that detent arm had been drilled to make it lighter and that sort of stuff. But he got that bike down to it was like 82 kilos. He stripped another 15 kilos off a bike that's already light.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
That's absurd.
It must feel like a BMX to ride, that thing.
Yeah, it's such a big difference.
Handmade titanium cone pipe.
Even between, because my buddy has a CRF 250. I jump between that and my 125.
Yeah.
And the difference in weight's astronomical.
It's insane. Oh, well, of course we've cycled back to talking about 125s in motorbikes again.
Well, it just happens,
yeah,
doesn't it?
It's just what happens. What we're talking about, it's what we're into anyway. So
yeah.
Oh, well, this has been fun, this one. So,
just another...
one dodgy fix that I want to show you. I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you seen the bottom exhaust pipe mount?
I've seen it now.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a decompression lever off a YZ250F.
Fucking hell.
I drilled, the bracket broke through, so I drilled some holes through it. I'm like, that'll do. So it's been there for about 2 years. It's good. Alright, well, this has been fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Alright, peace. You got anything good to say?
No, nothing.
I know.
Turn it off. Yeah. Just turn it off, man. That's fine.